I don't know how the interaction with Muslims is in Tel Aviv, so I don't know how much you interact.
Listen to what you hear.
Right?
It's all lies.
Really?
They have it great.
Wow.
You go, I live there.
Wow.
You go Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, the Arabs have it amazing.
Wow.
The news, they lie to you. They make it
feel
sound
you.
like the Jews are oppressing.
Right?
Bullshit.
Really, it's
So
not.
I live there.
Right.
You go to Tel Aviv, all over Israel, Arabs share equal, Arabs and Muslims share
Equal rights.
with Jews.
Nice.
They even get some of the rights that Jews only get if they go to the army without going to the army.
Wow.
In some ways they have it even
So that's
better.
good, man. I'm glad you've lived there. So,
I've lived
so
there.
when I was
It's
in
an amazing
when I
place.
was in Jerusalem, what I saw, like if you're Jewish, you could carry like weapons, but if you're like Arab, you couldn't. Is
Nope.
that? I saw it though. What happened?
No.
So those guys walking around with like the AK, I mean the Uzis and
PA
stuff.
authority.
They were what?
PA authority.
What is that?
Palestinian authority.
The-
and
those-
they cooperate with the IDF.
No, I'm talking about the people in Jerusalem, the Arabs that were living there. Even the PA authority, they're not PA authority, the Arabs that worked for the government, they couldn't carry guns, right? Because when we were going in and out of Quds, they couldn't. But like
I
average.
can't challenge your personal experience.
Okay, no, I mean I just want to know the laws. Like how does
When
that
I was
work?
there, they
Right.
can, but they have to have licensure, just like
Right.
everyone else. They don't differentiate between Jew or Muslim or non-Jew.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's a democrat. It's a real democratic society.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice,
I lived there for over a year.
nice. What were you doing there? Just working?
Studying. I had
Studying?
family and going
Nice.
to school, and I actually had Palestinian friends,
Nice, nice.
and they're great people.
Really good, good. Well,
Don't listen to what you hear.
I hate the news,
likes
yeah.
to rile
No,
people
I feel
up.
you,
They
yeah.
the people get along on a daily basis.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
not
yeah.
fighting on a daily basis.
That's
it's not
cool.
what it's like.
so are you Jewish or Christian?
I'm a Jew.
Nice.
My wife is Catholic.
Okay. So are you Orthodox? Are you?
No, I'm not very religious. I mean, I'm like non-practicing Orthodox, if that
Gotcha.
makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much, so I like to ask and learn. So you believe in the Torah, obviously, right?
In a cultural sense.
Not in a religious sense?
Not really.
Okay. So you don't
Asking
believe?
me, I'm not going to lie to you.
I appreciate that. I wouldn't expect you to lie to me. so
I'm not religious.
Gotcha.
In a cultural sense.
So I mean, this is just for me to learn too. This is really beneficial because we don't get a lot of Jews come to the table. Usually get
Go
Christians
for
and
it.
Catholics. Catholics I kind of have understanding. So you do believe in God?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
There is no question. There
Excellent.
is one God.
Me too. All right, monotheism. We're on the same page so far.
There's
So
only one God, and that's
so you believe in Moses and Abraham, or do you think those were real people? Were they like kind of historic figures, or were they prophets?
I mean, I can answer you honestly.
Please, I appreciate honesty.
I study archaeology a little.
Okay.
Moses was most likely a fictitious character. Moses was most likely a fictitious character. Moses was most likely a fictitious character.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of archaeological findings nowadays
Mm-hmm.
that really shows our understanding is not accurate.
Gotcha.
First character that probably was really real was David.
Okay. As a king in Israel.
He was more like a chieftain.
Gotcha. Not a king. So you don't think he was a prophet though? Like you don't think he got a revelation from God and stuff like this?
It's hard to know. I mean, I know Muslims believe in the Zabur,
Well, we do. Yeah.
which is the revelation that was given to David.
You're on it. I like you. Go ahead.
But there's no copy of it. Nobody has a copy of
That
the
is,
Zabur.
we Muslims don't believe there is a copy around. That is correct.
Correct.
Yeah. We do believe in the Quran, and there are copies of manuscripts of the Quran, right? There you go. So at least we were there, right? So we as Muslims believe in Ibrahim and Dawood and Suleiman and Musa, not from archaeological. I'm not an archaeologist, so we believe it because it's in the Quran, right? And we believe in the Quran because it was revealed to a man who couldn't read or write, right? Historians pretty much come to a consensus that he was illiterate. And for him to bring forth a literary work, and I'm sure you know a little bit of Arabic because you live there, or you
can read and write it a little bit.
That's pretty good. That's better than most of the guys here. So
You guys can't read and write Arabic?
so some of us can, some of us cannot, right? Some of them are new Muslims, so they're just learning now.
It's like Hebrew.
Right,
Because if you speak Hebrew, it's very similar.
it's close, yeah. They're both Semitic languages,
The
right?
difference is the Hebrew letters are not connected.
Gotcha.
Arabic letters connect.
Nice.
And that's something to learn. That's like
Yeah.
a little difficult.
But they're both Semitic languages, so I'm sure it's easy for
Exactly.
you. So for the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to bring a literary work that no Arab poet could challenge at the time was pretty amazing. Like imagine today, somebody who can't read or write brings forth such a English language book that no no PhD linguist could respond to,
It would
right?
be impressive.
It would be impressive. Not necessarily a miracle by itself. So let's keep going with that, right? Then we have historic evidence, and since you are interested in history, I don't know if you read much about the moon splitting and the documentation of the eyewitness accounts and things. Have you?
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
Check it out. I mean, I have a video on it. If you go to, we have a YouTube channel called One Message Foundation.
Sure.
You can watch it.
Foundation.
Yeah, it's easy.
Okay.
Yeah. Check it out. I mean, you know, from an open mind. I can tell you're both open-minded people. So when you look at
Spanish.
yeah, this is in Espanol. We don't have anything in Hebrew, but we'd like to, inshallah. Maybe you can help us translate some of this stuff.
My Hebrew's not that good.
Not that great?
That's
All right.
really
It's better than mine.
Solid. That's hard. That's hard.
We'll get some of those Muslims from Palestine to help us with the Hebrew then. So now when we look at the splitting of the moon, there are eyewitness accounts from the enemies of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who were the Quraysh. They were polytheists, they were worshippers of idols, and even they affirmed that they saw him split the moon and bring it back together. And there are supporting evidences
This
from
is in the Quran.
no, this is in Hadith. This is historic, yeah.
I know
reference.
Hadith.
Excellent, good. So now you have Hadith that are from the Sahaba, from the companions who are Muslim, and you have from people who were not Muslim who saw it. And you have supporting evidences, and again, they don't meet the Hadith standards that we have,
Right.
from Indian scriptures that Hindu kings in India saw it at the same time and became Muslims with it. So, you know, you would think that these types of things would denote somebody who does have some kind of a miraculous ability. Regularly, me and you can't split the moon, right?
Not the last time I tried.
Right? Try it tonight. Let me know how it goes. Right?
Give it a shot.
We'll give it a shot. So we believe because of those miraculous things that are in the Quran. Also, the Quran talks about things that we believe the Prophet Muhammad wouldn't have known about. Right? Let me give you an example.
Like
This
with
is
like a woman with the baby inside the woman.
sure the development of the fetus,
How it
but
starts from a blood clot and it moves.
man, you sure you're not Muslim and you're hiding it? Like,
I'm
is
learning,
this one of those things like a candid camera or something? You're gonna come out like I'm a
No,
sheikh.
you want to be honest? I'm honest. I study a lot.
Nice.
And when I see stands like this, I like to just check it out. And
Excellent.
See what people, that's
Excellent.
all it is.
So to help you in your
I'm interested in things. That's all it is.
see now we look at here in the 41st chapter of the Quran, the 11th verse, and then he turns towards the heavens when it was still like smoke, saying to it and the earth, submit willingly or unwillingly. Today, scientists tell us that the celestial bodies were all smoke, there were gases, but the Prophet Muhammad at his time, and you know the Arabs weren't educated. They weren't like the Greeks or the Romans. They didn't have kind of, you know, they were Bedouins. They were warriors. How would he have known things like this, right? I mean, we talk about the orbit. This is in the 21st chapter, 33rd verse, and he is the one who created the day and the night and the sun and the moon, each traveling in an orbit. Now, the fact that the sun even has an orbit, even till recently scientists were debating, right?
Sure.
Right? So how would, I mean, and again, I've got a lot of these. How would a man in a desert know these things, right? How would he bring a literal miracle, which would be a book of Arabic that even Arab poets who were experts couldn't respond to? Until today, when we study Arabic, if you study Arabic for Nahu and Sarf, you will go back to the Quran. That is the final authority, right? So how could a man who never wrote a poem in his life, he wasn't a poet,
Sure.
right? So when you put all those together, the splitting of the moon, we believe that this shows that he was a true prophet. Right? So what do you think about that? You can be honest. You're not going to offend me.
I mean, I can be honest. I really don't want to offend you.
No,
guys.
you're not going to offend us. Trust me. People come out here and say all kinds of things. You are more than respectful. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Sure. I'm sure you guys hear a lot of that's true.
Yeah.
He was traveling around with Jews and Christians.
Was he?
Yes, he
Historic.
was.
Who did he travel with?
There were Jewish groups, and the Quran talks about Jewish groups. It describes them as the enemies, actually.
What surah?
Oh, I can't tell you the exact surah.
I'll tell you what. So let's do
And
this.
it talks about how the Christians, it says, you will find your friends in the Christians.
Really?
Not the ones who call themselves the Jews. I've read it myself.
You know,
He was traveling around with both of them, and afterwards, the original fasting was not Ramadan, it was Yom Kippur.
Really?
And then once they turned around and rejected, that's when things started to really develop.
So can you, I mean, as I showed you the verses, could you tell me, like, is that in the Quran, the Yom Kippur thing?
The Yom Kippur thing, no.
Is it in Hadith?
I'm not going to give you bullshit claims.
Okay, I appreciate that.
No,
I really appreciate that. So where did you read it?
Traveling with Jews and Christians.
Okay, so let's take one at a time, right? So the Yom Kippur, where did you read that about him, the original fasting being Yom Kippur?
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't remember.
All right.
So I can't stand on it too hard.
I got you.
Because then I can't give you a source.
So let's put that to a side then, right?
Fine.
All right. Him traveling with Christians and Jews, you said that's in the Quran?
That's my understanding.
Okay.
That he was speaking with them and learning with them before the original revelations came to him. Which makes sense because historically there were Christians and Jews walking around Arabia at that time. And that I can.
But historically, most of the Jews that were there were in Medina. Banu Qura, Banu Qunayza, Banu Qanuqa, Banu Nadir, they were in Medina, not in Mecca. Right? No? No. Can you go back and check on that? Because I taught this.
Because what happened was Solomon himself, or that time period, sent Jews down to Yemen.
Okay, but that's not Mecca. Yemen is way.
No, but that whole area, there were Jews there.
But again, Arabia is a big peninsula, right?
That's a fair
you know,
thing
right?
to say.
So Solomon sending Jews to Yemen, and I have no qualm with that, would definitely not prove that there were Jews and Christians in Mecca, or that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, traveled with them, or that he learned from them. So those are pretty wide. You're pushing it, right? So let's take it on historic perspective, right?
I can't say exactly where they were.
Okay.
They were there, and Mohamed was traveling around too.
So can you not today? I mean, you can take your time, look it up. I just want to learn. Can you go home and check where are the references that prove that the Prophet Muhammad?
I'm sorry.
All right, we love the phones, man. You can Google everything, right?
Anyway, of course I would.
Okay, excellent. So take a look at your references. Come back. I'd love to talk to you and learn about it because I, having taught the life of the Prophet, peace be upon him, looking at the earliest manuscripts, he was not a student of any religion, and Mecca was not a hub of Christians or Jews. Medina was, right? Mecca was almost.
That may be. No, I'll accept
sure.
That could be.
Mecca was mostly idol worshippers.
Argue that.
Yeah, but no, it's not even an argument. Go home and look it up.
Whatever,
discuss,
whatever.
learn.
Yeah.
So let's say you go home and you look up those references, and it turns out that he wasn't. But then we still have these kinds of miraculous things that happen. Would you say that's something that you should at least look into?
Raise my eyebrows.
There you go. Excellent, excellent.
That's fine.
So you have a Quran, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Excellent. Do you want another one? It's free.
I have one.
It's free.
Okay.
There you go. How can you give it up?
Excellent. It doesn't make. I'm just being honest. It doesn't make a difference.
As long as you're going to read it, I have no problem with giving it to you as a gift. Would you like one?
She's my wife.
I know.
Mine is hers. Hers is mine.
All right.
If I have one, she has.
Cool. Excellent. Well, now you have one. So
well, thank you for talking to us.
Excellent. Really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure. We look forward to you coming back and bringing us some of those references so I can kind of pick up my level.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.